Drink Cinema! Cheers. Welcome to another episode and another year of Two Drinks Cinema. We are two brothers reviewing movies, two drinks at a time. Hello, Brett.
Hello, Lee. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy Groundhog Day. Because if you are listening in the northern hemisphere of the world, or not the northern, the western. Are we in the western or the eastern hemisphere? If you are listening in the
America.
not Australian east or west hemisphere of the world, it is actually Groundhog Day.
We're Western. No, we're Eastern.
The sun
Where's
rises.
the middle?
The sun rises on us earlier. Does that make
'cause
us
it
the
rises
eastern
in the
hemisphere?
east, so that well,
it
we're
sets
beyond
in
where
the
the sun
west.
rises.
Yeah. According to America, we are. I've spoken to some American people that cannot fathom time zones.
They're weird, but anyway.
Or the fact that it's winter there while it's summer here, which is the case
That's just science.
on Groundhog Day, because it is winter for you lot in the northern hemisphere, and it is actually the February 2nd Groundhog Day. Hopefully Bill Murray is not in your town tricking women into sleeping with him. Which we will get to. There are going to be, before we go on with too much of Groundhog Day, there are going to be some new things for Two Drink Cinema. And so we will have 4 streams of Two Drink Cinema, one of which is anniversary stream. And so this is the anniversary of Groundhog Day from 1993.
Yeah.
30 years.
30 years ago.
It's a classic. You
For
might
some
also
reason.
notice that it is the 3rd year of Two Drink Cinema, so we're in our 3rd studio.
Yeah. 4th? 3rd.
4th.
Third.
4th. Because we started in my other home studio,
It's a 4th.
then went to your place,
then
then
your
went to my garage. Now we're in
another room.
my now home studio.
Yeah.
And we're on other sides. So,
And we're not. This is it. We're not moving again
well, until we get enough money.
until we get enough money to have an actual studio.
Yeah. So this is studio number 4, year number 3, format number 4. So
When I change things up, keep you on your toes. Don't want you to get complacent.
no, and all bored.
Yeah.
And we want to be special. Lots of
wanna-
people just talk about movies every week for years and years and years, Margaret
Yeah.
and David.
Yeah.
They never changed the format.
Nah.
Look what happened to them.
Yeah.
Cancelled after 30 years.
There you go.
Speaking of 30
That's
years,
not boring. That's irrelevant.
30 years since Groundhog Day. And so we've got a cocktail for Groundhog Day, which we do because we are to drink cinema.
We'll have a drink.
And we have a drink each. So
Yeah.
this is what, my brother?
It's a what's his name? Phil. I've made up.
It's a Punxsutawney Mule.
I couldn't. Punxsutawney Mule.
Okay.
So it is American whiskey.
Yep. Jack Daniels, because he drinks that out of the bottle in the movie, which
Yep.
we'll get to.
Sweet vermouth.
Okay, which Andy likes,
Lime juice
which is the twist.
and ginger beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's Australian ginger beer, though.
Well, yeah.
Best ginger beer in the world.
Yeah. There you go.
So we're going to rate this after we taste it. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Sorry for the sounds of the metal straw on the glass.
Almost chipped my tooth on a straw. That's fine.
Listeners, you missed our little pre-show where I put my drink in front of the camera and then couldn't work out what this big shiny object was in the middle of our shot. It was my straw.
That's good.
That's good. Even with American whiskey, that's good. No offense to our American listeners.
Yep.
Out of 5, we score our cocktails.
Maybe a 3.
3.5 for me.
Okay, we'll do a 3.5. That's the best score it's going to get for any category.
Or quite possibly.
Although the other rest of the A for Archie Q Deniro that we score it on is how alcoholic the movie is.
So the Archie Q Deniro scale is how we rate every movie that we watch for Two Drink Cinema. And if you get in contact with us on the socials, we can give you a little scorecard of your own. So you can score any movie that you watch and tell us about it. And so also you can have it so you know it when we talk about it.
Yeah.
The A of Archie Q Deniro, who is our mentor and guide and may or may not be related to Robert, is A for alcoholic. And the cocktail score goes in there, but also how alcoholic the movie is. And we both noticed that he says, "Can I have one more of these with booze in it?"
Yeah.
Early in the film.
He drinks a bit.
I assume
right?
the first one had booze in it.
Yeah, but not strong enough for him.
He wanted more.
Because he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah. So there
He
is a bit
drinks
of drinking. Yeah.
And it's also because he loops the same thing over and over again about ordering her drink and thing, that they drink the same drink a bit.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And he gets very drunk with those two local hicks.
Yes.
That is, I did kind of laugh at that. The main bits I laughed at in the movie were not Bill Murray.
I can't remember when I laughed, which is sad because I think it was probably only about 3 times.
Well, it's also sad because it is a comedy.
Apparently.
Yeah. I did laugh at the scene they had where the two local hicks are very drunk and weren't going to drive and then fell over, and then I didn't laugh so much when Bill Murray got pulled over by the cop.
I laughed when he goes for the piano lesson and then the teacher kicks the girl out that she was already given a lesson to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I thought, would he go...
Oh, the other bit I laughed at was like, Ned, and then just punches him in the face.
Oh, yeah. Bit of slapstick.
You would have wanted to punch him in the face.
I thought about the piano lesson. Would he have gone back at the same time the next day, or would he have gone back an hour later so she didn't have to kick the other girl out?
Yeah.
He's a bit of an arsehole, so maybe he went back the same
he
day.
doesn't care. But then also it depends. Time doesn't matter in this movie.
But it does, because he's got to be somewhere to catch the kid that falls out of the tree, somewhere to trick a woman into having sex with him, somewhere to trick another woman.
Somewhere to have a piano lesson, somewhere to learn how to ice sculpt.
Somewhere
to learn something else, somewhere to do this,
Heimlich
somewhere to do that, somewhere to do the news report, he ends up doing a lot in one day.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite add up for me.
Seems to be a long day as the day goes along.
Yeah. He
As
wakes
the
up
movie
at
goes
6
along.
a.m. But
That's
you don't know
true.
when he goes to bed, because sometimes the day ends at 12 and then he wakes up the next day.
Yeah.
And then other days he's there all night and he wakes up the next day.
And then some days he gets into bed at 4 p.m.
Yep.
and still sleeps all the way through till 6.
Yep. Doesn't wake up at all during the night.
No. That's a question for the end I've got that's come up. So he tells the story with those guys at the drinking at the bowling alley as well, about how he was having pina coladas on the beach with that woman. Why couldn't that day be repeated? Because you're an arsehole and you don't deserve a nice day to be repeated.
Yeah, well, I have a lot
That's
of questions
the point of the
about
movie.
this whole movie.
The point of the movie is it's repeating until he stops being an arsehole.
I thought it was repeating until he slept with Andy McDowell.
Well, that's what I wonder if that's what he has taken from it, rather than the lesson we as a viewer should take is stop getting stuck in a loop of being an arsehole and you might get on.
Yeah.
But maybe he thinks, I got given this extra day so I could learn how to trick Andy McDowell into sleeping with me.
Yep.
That's Bill Murray's lesson. I'm not saying his character name, 1, because I sometimes don't remember it, and 2, because Bill Murray just plays Bill Murray.
Yes.
What else is alcoholic in the movie? He drinks Jim Beam.
They drink at a party or a dinner or something, and he's at the bar, and then... Yeah.
Oh, there's the Groundhog party, but he stays in the bar early on.
Yeah.
Then they all go to the Groundhog party later.
He drinks while watching Jeopardy.
Yes, that's when I'm sure he's drinking Jack Daniels out of the bottle.
Yeah.
And the old people are very impressed. They go to that Germany type place, I assume, because there's the big steins of beer.
Yeah.
So there's
It's
a fair
fairly
bit.
alcoholic.
It's a fair bit of alcohol.
Maybe 3.5.
But does it count as lots of alcohol if it's the same alcohol at the same time each day?
Does he wake up with a hangover? Like, if he got shit-faced drunk,
Which he
would
did.
he wake up with a hangover? Or is it just like, start anew?
He wakes up.
Because his hair doesn't grow.
He doesn't get older.
And he doesn't age and his hair doesn't grow.
That's a question. How long is it?
Well, years.
Because there's the rule of mastery is 10,000 hours. And and he has mastered piano, French, ice sculpting, vehicle maintenance.
Yeah.
That's just changing a tyre. So maybe that's 1,000 hours.
Building a snowman.
Building a that's simple. Everyone in Philadelphia can build a snowman.
Yeah. Pennsylvania?
Wherever. Punxsutawney. 3 things. 30,000 hours.
But if he only does it for 1 hour a day, that's 30,000 days.
Yeah.
That's like 10 years. That's not right.
No, that's
like
1,000 years.
That's 100.
100 years.
100 years.
He's not there for 100 years.
No, I reckon it's about... you couldn't keep track because it would jump,
Yep.
and he'd be doing this.
Yeah.
Then he'd be going, oh, I'll try get out. Oh, no, I won't get out. I'll try sleep with Andy McDowell.
Then he'd wake up
Then
again.
he'd do this. Then he'd do that. Then he'd do this. Then he'd do that. So you couldn't actually keep track of
No,
how
and
long
I
it went.
think they've probably done that deliberately.
Yeah.
Well, I guess most things that people write in a screenplay, particularly Harold Ramis, like he's written a couple of movies.
He's not your best, Harold.
No, but he knows how to put something deliberately into a script.
Yes.
I'm going to give it on the alcoholic scale a 3.25.
Okay. Well,
Is
I'm
that
gonna
what you were
round
gonna
up
give
to
it?
a 3.5
Okay.
because that's what I was going to say.
Now, the R of the Archie is representation.
Moving on.
Well,
There's a black bartender.
was there?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even notice him. No offense. The waiter's gay.
The waiter's gay.
Yeah. When he's going through that scene and he's like, I know this about this person, I know this about this person, I know this about this person. And Andy McDowell's going, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
her, she's from here. This is him. They're getting married, but she's having cold feet. And then he goes, this is blah, he's the waiter, he's gay.
I missed that.
Yeah. So there's one gay in the whole village.
Yep.
But
Punchline.
I think the lesbian couple that he changes, I think the old couple that he changes the tie for are lesbians.
You reckon?
Because when she flirts with him, the other woman gets very jealous.
Oh, okay.
So there's one gay and there's one closet lesbian in this town,
Okay.
which is
enough.
still not worth a point.
And
And a
but
black
there is,
guy.
Yeah, I'm going to say a 0.
At one point, I was watching it with Shane. At one point, Shane goes, there's one black guy there in the crowd at the party. And I said, no, I think he's just tanned. And then the shot changed and it was a white man just in the... It was just white. It was just that he wasn't as well lit as the other characters. We were hunting for people of colour at that point and still couldn't find any.
Yeah.
0.
Even the snow was white. Ugh.
0.
Big fat 0 for representation. Get your shit together.
Another 0. It's 1993. You can have black people in movies.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle was in Robin Hood Men in Tights. That was in 93. That was a very random reference.
And that's coming up later this year, so stay tuned. It's... Yeah, there were black people in movies in the 90s.
Yeah, Cool Runnings.
Wasn't Terminator? Oh, no, Terminator 2 has the...
Yeah, that's the 90s,
that
though.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was later 90s. Or was it 93?
Well, Eddie Murphy might have made a few movies in the 90s.
Yeah, true. He made a couple in the 80s, which was even before this.
There you go.
Yeah.
Black people are in Sidney Poitier.
Okay. All right, let's talk about him. Gone with the Wind we did last year.
Yeah.
Which you can get on our Buy Me a Coffee, which is a thing I'm going to announce later. Cry is the C of Archie Q Deniro because I'm notorious for crying in movies, but I did not in this one, as people may or may
I
not
think
be
I've said
surprised
this about a
by.
movie before. Some tears came out when I yawned.
Oh, I thought you were going to say some tears came out when the credits rolled in joy.
No, I yelled at the thing because I
over.
didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a 0 for crying. There was no crying moments. And then I was like, is it meant to be cry? Is it meant to be sad at some point? Because it's not like... I don't know if we're meant to feel sorry for him, but I certainly did not.
I did not.
He's
Even
an
that,
asshole, and then he uses it to his own advantage.
even the depressed bit where he kills himself 8 times in a row, which I didn't remember at all.
Which he only does. So this is what... Right, he was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Then he went, oh, I can use this to trick Andy McDowell into sleeping with me.
Yep.
I'm happy about this. Then it was like after trying and trying and trying and trying and trying, she wasn't going to do it. Then he was sad.
Yeah. Problematic.
Yeah. I
Zero
might
for
rant
crying.
about it in the entirety.
Yeah,
at the
I've
end.
seen your notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 0 for crying.
Yeah.
We're not off to a good start in the scores this year, 2023. Groundhog Day. Horniness, but this might score well.
Yeah. Apologies for choosing this movie.
The H for
He
Archie,
is horny.
but in such a sleaze way.
Yeah, even with that Nancy woman as well.
I thought at the start, because Roland Shit, who I can't remember his actor name,
Chris Elliott?
Elliott,
Yeah.
who gets fuck all
Chris
jokes.
Elliott? Yeah.
Yeah, he gets fuck all jokes. He's
Yeah.
a funny man.
He's a funny man.
Gets a shit script.
Yep, nothing.
Why cast him?
Yeah.
Why cast someone so funny if his jokes are gonna be bad jokes?
Yep.
He has the worst script for any character in this movie.
And that's saying something, because Andie MacDowell is shit. I'm not
But
a
she's
fan.
got some good lines.
Not a fan.
She's got some good lines. Chris Elliott has no good lines.
Ned Ryerson, is that
He's
his
good.
name?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good script. That somebody could make that funny.
Yeah. But Chris Elliott has comedy chops, as we know. Scary Movie, Schitt's Creek, but gets stuff all.
Yeah.
Scary Movie 2.
Scary Movie 2.
Yep. He's my strong hand.
He's
That's
my
in case
strong
people
hand.
don't know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think for the horniness, it's a high score.
I feel like
At the start,
because
though-
half the movie is about him trying to get laid.
Yeah, at the start, though, when Chris Elliott first pointed out Andie MacDowell, he didn't seem interested.
But he did. There was like a look of, oh, she's hot.
No, but
I can't see her torso on the blue screen.
it was a. I thought at the start, I'm like, oh, Bill Murray's not going to be sleazy to Andie MacDowell. And then I literally wrote in my notes, I take that back.
Yep.
Sleep well, Mr. Connors? He says, no, I slept alone.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Gobbler's Knob.
The place is called Gobbler's Knob. I was like, which... Are we in the gay portion of our podcast, or what's going on?
Yeah, Gobbler's Knob was actually the porn parody of Groundhog Day. They just skipped the Punxsutawney, which even that can sound dirty.
There's some Groundhog Day, like Mound Dong Day.
Mound Hog Day.
Mound Hog Day.
Mound
At Gobbler's Knob.
at Gobbler's Knob. Men.com if you're listening. There's your parody.
What's that? Never
30-year anniversary.
Because my thing is, he's so horny that he does use it to pass the time. And
Yeah.
never gets tired of it.
Of sex.
Yeah.
Even if he's had it for what we thought 100 years.
100 years of sex.
With
But
Nancy.
does he get laid? Does
He
he
has sex
still
with
keep
Nancy.
getting laid by Nancy and then still try at the end of the day to get with Andie MacDowell? Cannot remember. Rita. That's her name.
No, I reckon he just has Nancy a couple of times and then realises that he can use it to
Yep.
get to know Andie MacDowell. Because she's a harder target than Nancy. No offence, Nancy. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you're easy.
Nancy's pantsies.
Nancy has no preconceived idea of him being an asshole like Andie
Yeah.
MacDowell has.
Mm.
So that's why she's easier. We had sex like sea otters. He said, I'm not sure about that one.
That's a weird line.
I don't know what sea otter sex is like.
Wet.
Don't sea otters like
Oh, God.
sea otters like as a couple? I think they mate for life, and then they lie on their back in the water and they hold hands, and then one sleeps and the other one holds the sleeping one's hand.
Oh, maybe, so they don't drown.
So they don't float away or drown or go
Oh,
over a
that's
waterfall.
cute.
Yeah, but that's not what Bill Murray has in mind.
not what
he
he
does
meant.
not want to hold hands.
I almost want to say like a 4.
Yeah, 4.
Because he's a horny man.
He is a horny man.
Hmm.
In the Archie Q Deniro Score next, we've done ARCH. We have got the I next.
Yeah.
Insults.
Insults. I can tell you what.
He's quite insulting to Chris Elliott, the cameraman.
He's quite insulting to every person he talks to.
She's like, do you want to come to dinner with me and what's his name? Ryan? I don't know. Do you want to? And no, I've seen him eat. And he's like, oh. Like, that's unnecessary.
It was a bit weird.
He's insulting to the groundhog.
They're hicks. He calls everyone hicks.
And he's like, it's just an oversized squirrel.
Which I don't think that it is.
No, it's not. He's just insulting.
Yeah.
Um,
He's just a dick.
hey, morons. I
Narcissist.
wrote, hey, morons, your bus is leaving. Can't remember who he says that for.
Oh, the two that end up getting drunk. That he drives in the car
Oh, yeah,
and goes
yeah,
on the
yeah,
train
yeah,
tracks
yeah,
in a
yeah.
terrible scene that's not funny at all.
No. This is pitiful. He talks about the town. It's how town is pitiful.
I don't think, watching this movie, I would not say that Bill Murray is a good physical comedian.
No.
The bit in the driving on the car tracks where he's all like,
None of them are good
in
for
the,
that.
In the shower when he can't work out the temperature,
Yeah.
not funny. Stepping
No,
in the puddle, not funny.
What was funny though, when he comes out of the bathroom and he says to the lady that runs the B&B, says, "Is there any hot water?" And she goes, "Oh, not today," and then just walks off. He's like, "Oh, okay." He insults that guy at the top of the stairs. Calls him a pork chop.
Oh.
When he gets up and he goes, "You have to see the groundhog," the Peter Griffin looking guy.
Yeah.
"You have to see the groundhog," and then he lifts him up. He's like, "A pork chop."
I don't get him.
Is it a fat joke?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's an insult.
Did Hugh Grant say it about Martine McCutcheon in Love Actually?
No, he was the nice one.
Oh, okay. Everyone else made
Everyone
fat
else
jokes.
was a dick.
There's lots of things wrong with Phil, Andy McDowell says at one point. Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's Chris Elliott says.
Yeah.
Because Andy McDowell says, "I think there's something wrong with Phil." But I'm okay with Chris Elliott saying that because
there are.
There are. And also, he's been an asshole to him, so he's allowed to say one thing back.
Yeah.
Yep. Insults. What? Anything else?
Oh, just the whole movie is insulting to me. No, I think like he's just an asshole. He says a lot of mean things. Some of them are witty, others are just rude.
He's just got an insulting persona.
Yeah, he's a curmudgeon. He's a bit of a curmudgeon. Is that a word?
Bar humbug.
Bar humbug. But the Groundhog Day version of a bar humbug.
Well, yeah. And instead of 3 ghosts visit him, 3,000 days visit him.
It's 3,000 women. Ooh, yuck. Well, I'm going to.
Does
on
he
the
keep
insults.
the STIs from the day
Well,
before?
what if he got one pregnant? It just is that an abort? Does it abort?
We've got to edit that out for our American crowd.
I'll just beep it.
Um,
No, you know what I mean. There was so many. I had so many questions that went unanswered.
yeah.
You could have had this movie 15, 20 minutes longer and answered more questions.
Or you could have put a couple of less scenes in there that raised questions.
Yes, like catching the kid out of the tree
Yeah.
and doing the Heimlich maneuver on that guy.
Does that kid die every other day?
Well, does he die or does he just like have a fall and slip his disc and have to go to the hospital?
We don't know. The question I have about the Heimlich maneuver is he goes and gives him the Heimlich maneuver, and then the guy who's choking reacts like he's never seen Phil in his life.
Yeah.
The guy who gives the Heimlich maneuver is the guy that announces Groundhog Day and applauds him when he does his big speech that is borrowed from poets.
Yeah.
He knows him.
Yeah.
He's also
Doesn't
the
it
guy
up.
that he steals the car from, like another day. Like he knows him, but he acts like he's never met him in his life and just this random good Samaritan.
There's a lot of holes. And I'm not talking just about the one that Groundhog works out
Also,
of.
Andy McDowell.
Can't
Oh no,
act.
that's at the end. I'll come back to my other issue with Andy McDowell's character, not her acting. I'll let you rant about that. Insults, have we given our scores?
I've given it a 3.5.
Okay.
I'm actually going to give it.
I'm going to give it a 3.25.
Okay.
For new listeners, I give 0.25s. Brett does not.
I don't. I'm a half number full kind of guy. That makes no sense.
Enclosure is the E of Archie, not Callum Archie, or the AFL player.
It's a very random reference. Enclosure. It's a B&B is big and he's in a small room. I don't know. Like,
I think that's a...
is the enclosure the day?
Ugh.
He's enclosed in the day.
That's a 1 then, because it's a 1 day
It's one day.
out
But
of 3,000,
it's 1 times 3,000.
30,000. I think I'm going to have to ask, is he dead, Harold Ramis?
No, I'm pretty sure he's alive.
I'll ask him. At my next Screen Actors and Screenwriters
Yeah.
Guild meeting.
Inside the actor's studio with Harold Ramis. Are we so
Inside the
Enclosure-
writer's studio
Yeah.
is here. It's
He's
just
an actor too.
my
Harold
third
Wait,
bedroom.
I just got him confused with Rick Moranis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is Harold Ramis one of the Ghostbusters?
He's one of the Ghostbusters, the one with glasses.
I think he's dead.
I think he is too now.
We have a GOO in this room. Can I ask?
Oh. GOO. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Google, is Harold Ramis dead?
Please log in through the Google.
That, yes. 69, he died.
Hey, horny point.
There you go.
So we have a little Google Nest Mini in the corner.
Yeah.
But, oh, fuck.
And Lee has a Google phone.
I have Google
so
phone in my
Legal's
pocket.
phone has gone off, and
And
it's
it's given
his
me
phone
His whole
giving
freaking
his whole life story.
And I think,
He died.
yeah, he is dead, but I think he is...
He's the one with the thing. There's Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, him, and the black guy.
Yeah, Harold Ramis, and in the not Paul Rudd. Yeah, Paul Rudd Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
He comes back as a CGI character.
So is he Kristen Wiig or Melissa McCarthy?
He's Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, fuck. God help him then. Jesus. Wouldn't wish that on anyone. Anyway, I've been watching Stranger Things. That's just another story for another time.
He's very tall now, Finn Wolfhard.
The face is... He's like 19. He's like 18 years old. I'm like, he has a shit face.
I'm like,
The poor kid.
I'm like,
I don't know what's worse, his face or fucking
Will's
Will's
hair.
haircut.
I'm like, he's very tall, and Brett's just like, he's ugly.
Who cares if he's tall? He's ugly. Oh. So
there's-
a 1 for Enclosure.
Millie Bobby Brown says he's a shit kisser,
Well, it's a
but
big
he
nose.
agrees. His first kiss,
Yeah. They were child.
his first on-screen kiss, with Finn said, but it was Millie Bobby Brown's first kiss ever.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and she wasn't happy because the Duffer Brothers were teasing her about it, right up until they shot
She's the only reason they have...
Yeah.
We know who they are. So...
it. Yeah, that's true. She's
anyway.
very good.
Anyway.
I'm
she's
looking
the only good
forward
thing
to
about
seeing
first
the rest
season.
of her career,
I think so too.
even though I haven't watched either of the Enola Holmes movies.
Nah.
I will. Okay. That's Archie. 1
1 for Enclosure.
for Enclosure.
Yeah.
He's also just renting, so that lowers the score.
For a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chance of departure, 100%. And then the next day, it's 85%. Yeah.
Why didn't he... Okay. It's like, why didn't he try and leave earlier before the blizzard? Because if I was trapped in the town, I would have been like, this town is cursed. I need to get out of the town. And he can't get out of the town because of the blizzard. So why don't you just fuck off the news
Get
report
up at 6 o'clock
and just leave?
and leave. Because there are some of the days where he does not do the news report.
Well, I assume he does it every day.
no,
But you
because
just
there's
don't
one
see
day...
him.
There's one day where he walks up to her and he's like, no, I can't do this, and walks off. That's
Yeah.
when he should get in the van and leave.
Mm.
And even if he leaves Andy and Chris Elliott there,
Yeah.
they'll find another way back.
I want to say Paul.
Could be Paul. New listeners, we're terrible with character names.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep calling him Roland. Yeah. Drink, Q, quotability.
Yeah.
Archie Q Deniro.
It's Groundhog Day.
Again. And I'm a god. I've seen that come up, but I don't know if
yes,
people
okay.
say it like that.
I wrote, did I write anything? Funny line about eating groundhog.
No, if you can't remember it, it's not quotable.
Why didn't I write the line? Oh, are you groundhog something? No, I had, are you going to the groundhog dinner? No,
Oh, yeah, I had groundhog for lunch.
Yeah.
Another food-related
Like,
joke.
I wouldn't quote it again because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
totally irrelevant.
Another food-related joke is when he says to the woman, do you ever have deja vu? And she says, I don't know, I'll have to check with the kitchen.
Oh.
0.
Zero. Quotability, zero.
Not quotable. Those are just 2 jokes in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
The D for De Niro stands for drink.
Coke.
This is whether it or not is a Coke or a Pepsi movie, which is very important to us. And because we are Coke people and we are a Coke family,
No, it's because Coke is better than Pepsi. You can say it.
correct? Coke is worth 2 points and Pepsi is worth 1. I have some Coke merch in here.
I have some Coke in my pocket. Drugs.
Saving that for when we do.
We do the Whitney.
I want to dance with somebody. How was like the guy that hosted the Golden Globes? And he said something, I want to dance with somebody, which is appropriate because we're here in the Beverly Hilton, the hotel that killed.
Yeah. And some people are like, ha ha. Other people are like, ooh.
I'm like,
Lucky,
it wasn't a
lucky,
hotel.
lucky her whole family's dead. So nobody can sue you.
He had some good jokes. I thought his joke about this, we'll cover this a little bit more in our bonus episode of the month.
Yeah.
I think his joke
joke
about Will Smith was better than Eddie Murphy's.
Was Eddie Murphy's a joke? I felt like he was sticking up for Will Smith. I didn't read too much. Like, I was like, ooh. I didn't find it funny. I thought he was like angry with the whole thing.
Well, the host's joke, who I've never heard of, but that doesn't mean he's not
just some
good,
comedian.
was like during the break we gave Will Smith the Rock Hudson Award for masculinity.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's funny
That's
because
clever.
it was toxic masculinity that Will Smith displayed.
He made another, apparently the start, I haven't seen it. He made a joke because when there was a lot of flack about the lack of diversity with the Holland
Oh, yeah.
Tom Cruise gave back his Golden Globes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's won some. Shocking.
And he said, he
sent them back, and then in other cases, he was like, I found these out the back, so we're just going to give them out again or something. Well, that's a smart opening.
But also he made the joke about Tom Cruise. They found Tom Cruise's Golden Globes out the back.
Yeah.
And there was something about a Scientologist actress that went missing or something.
Yeah. That was anyway.
No, the joke he made about, well, no, it wasn't a joke. It was a statement. It was like the Hollywood foreign press is not very diverse. They didn't have a single black member until after George Floyd died. Which people apparently gasped at.
I will say I did tear up at the Golden Globes.
Why?
When Ryan Murphy did his speech. I was like, oh, this is good.
Oh, did he
It
die?
was good. No, he got his Lifetime Achievement Award television thing.
Oh.
Because they do that now.
Is
They
that the
do one
TV
for
version of
TV.
the Cecil B.
Yeah,
DeMille?
the Carol Burnett Award.
Is that what it's...
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
And
Our Logie should have a Bert Newton Award.
They do.
Named after Bert?
Yeah, Bert Newton Award for Most Promising Newcomer.
Oh, but he's been around forever.
Well, he doesn't win the award.
The Gold Logie's
The
named...
new person on Neighbours. Oh, well, no,
Yeah.
well, Home
The
and
new-
Away, I guess.
It's a home and away person every year until it's a actor from The Bachelor. The
Maths.
So they're all actors. They're all actors. Like that American Mole show we watched. Bring back bloody the Australian one. That was better. Anyway. Constable Wayne Patterson. D is a 2 because he orders a Coke.
He orders a Coke, and also I believe in the diner they have a Coke fridge.
Ah, okay.
But hey, it doesn't need any justification more that there was no Pepsi.
There was no Pepsi, so it's a 2. The E in De Niro is for endurance.
Yes.
Nope. Something that's endured is people's issues with chroma key, as has been proven if you've watched any of our YouTube videos. Andy McDowell plays around with the blue jumper on the blue screen.
Yes. Oh, shit.
And that reminded me of when I accidentally wore a T-shirt that had green on it for a Christmas episode, and then I had to do some very clever editing to not have a see-through Nakatomi Corporation logo. So that's endured. People still having trouble with blue or green screen.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Is that nostalgia for the blue screen when we went to Science Works?
Was it a blue screen?
I think it was blue screen those days. Now it's green.
What would happen if you did that back in the day? Back in the Science Works, there was a visual effects thing.
Yeah.
And you did a green screen thing.
Yeah.
What if you wore green that day?
You would disappear.
I'll just be a floating head in Ernie Dingo's fridge.
In Ernie Dingo's fridge, yeah. Or in the Love is in the Air film clip.
Ah, that was fun.
Wasn't Grandpa wearing something with a bit of blue and a bit of Grandpa disappeared?
Maybe. I think it might have
The
actually.
video's here somewhere in this room.
We'll find it.
So we'll find it and that'll be on our YouTube
Anyway,
channel.
God.
Brett putting on a voice.
Anyway.
That's a story for another podcast.
Gosh.
Buymeacoffee.com.
All right.
Endurance.
I don't know. Like, I didn't like the weather graphics looked old. Like
Yeah.
when he was like and went
Yeah.
to what's on it looked old.
Yeah. No, they're not like Jane Bunn does now.
He wears a poncho. Like a Mexican poncho.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
When?
I think at one stage when he went to the movies with that woman and was like, I've seen this
Now,
movie
wasn't
100
that a
times.
westerny poncho?
Yeah. I don't know. It looked I don't know. Anyway. Didn't look right to me. I then was
Tricking
like
women into sex has not aged well.
yeah, no, not at all. But then I also was like, he referenced it when he's doing the weather for California. He's like, oh, there's going to be an onset of gang wars.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, well, maybe. Well, I don't know about
A couple of those jokes were funny, but also not funny. Like, there were the kind of jokes when he was making that weather forecast. There were the kind of jokes where you go, huh, big trees. Not funny, but
stepped in the same puddle.
Oh,
We get
yeah.
it. It's the same day over and over again. The pressure, the thing that hasn't aged is the whole pressuring women and tricking women into sleeping with him. Really,
yeah. Nowadays, that makes him look like a loser. That he has to trick women into having
well, he has to
sex.
basically change his entire personality.
Yeah. That relationship cannot last. Because
No.
he is not like that.
No, but is he now? Is that why he's out of the loop?
No. I'm not convinced that he... Well, maybe. In the movie he is. But I'm not convinced that he is.
No, he's putting it all on just to get in her pants.
Yeah. And then what? They get back to Pennsylvania or Philadelphia and he gets his job. The Home Shopping Network is not interested in him anymore. And so what happens then?
They break up.
They go and live in the mountains and then he gets bored and realizes he doesn't actually like her. He just thought she was hot.
But she ain't.
She's hot enough for Hugh Grant. But
And Kevin Kline?
she's not as hot as Julia
Kevin
Roberts for Hugh Grant.
No. Multiplicity.
In Hugh Grant's list of rom-com women, she's at least number 3.
Julia Roberts. Bridget. Oh, no.
Renee Zellweger. I think
He's done it.
from Love Actually,
Yeah, okay.
Martine McCutcheon is better looking, I think, than
Andy
McDowell.
McDowell.
Cuter, certainly.
Notting Hill. What else has
Notting
he done?
Hill is
Sandra Bullock.
in what?
2 weeks' notice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's better than Andy McDowell. Does he sleep with the woman that plays Lady Mary in Downton Abbey in The Gentleman?
Lost. That was a lot of words that I haven't. And no
You haven't seen
references
any of
to.
it. Anyway, we're not talking about Hugh Grant. Endurance, I think it's a
2 for me.
I think it's a 1.5 for me. Because the jokes aren't that funny. There's so much rose-coloured glasses around this movie.
There's a lot of rose-colored glasses about Bill Murray's entire career.
I think because he's become a meme, he's become essentially a parody of himself. Like his role in Zombieland, where he plays himself, is essentially a parody of all of the Bill Murray characters that he's played.
Right.
And so I think because of something like that, people look back at these movies and it's like, oh, it's Bill Murray being Bill Murray.
Like him in this and him in Ghostbusters, same thing.
Same thing. He's just
The only one where he's
sleazing on
different.
Sigourney.
What he did was go, I'm going to go really left of center and do Lost in Translation, and then everybody freaks out and thinks it's amazing.
Well, and he was good in that,
Yeah.
but then he just goes back to being Bill Murray in
Yeah.
Space Jam,
Oh, Space Jam.
where he plays himself.
Yeah. Well, he actually does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And it's the exact same character.
Exact same thing. He just pressures Lola Bunny into sex.
Ooh, Jesus. I think that the story of someone gets stuck in a loop and having to work it out would, if that's what we're assuming the story is, because they don't explain it at all.
No.
Still could be done.
There was one that was done. I can't even remember not content warning like bad things, but bad things. There was a teen movie version of it, right?
Oh.
And this boy gets stuck in the same day, but in order to reset the day, he has to ejaculate.
Oh.
So like that, the premise is the same. Is that he's stuck?
Isn't this the same
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. It's stuck in the same day. I haven't seen it, so I don't know like if he has to trick women into having sex with him as well or not.
Yeah, okay.
But the premise is still usable.
I feel there's something like stuck in a loop, like in a Black Mirror episode,
Oh yeah,
and I think it's set in the future. Strangely for Black Mirror,
yeah.
and it's something like it's a punishment. It's like a new form of punishment that she's stuck in this same scenario, and she has to get out, and then she like dies or something, and then it resets to the start, and it's like her on a reality show of her trying to get out, and then it resets again. I might have just merged two Black Mirror episodes into one.
Okay. Is that still going?
I don't think
haven't
there's
watched
any
any of
new
it.
episodes recently.
I haven't watched it. They could probably release the same episode again and just say, this is Black Mirror, and then just change it.
They are very good.
What they'll do is they'll release the same episode, but tell people there's a different ending. And so people will
Yeah.
watch it and then be very confused and think they got the ending of the first one wrong and this is different. Because they'll just fuck with people's heads.
The thing that fucks with your head about Black Mirror is that it's set like in the not too distant future, and it's all very like believable that this could happen.
Yeah.
Like these friends that hook up in a video game, and the one with
the
someone in it,
metaverse.
and you go around and like you rate people on the spot, and
Oh,
your
yeah.
rating goes down.
Well, apparently that's what happens in China. Social rating.
Moving on.
What would be the endurance rating? We scored that one?
I did a 2 and you did a 1.5.
Yeah, because I don't know. Nostalgia. I remember the general idea of the movie. I don't have nostalgia over it.
Was thinking, I can't remember if I'd seen this before.
It's not a hugely memorable movie. It's in the zeitgeist
Yeah.
enough that everybody knows
So I
it.
was like, that's what I was saying to someone. I was like, I know the story. But then when I was watching it, I was like, I don't think I've seen this because I have no memory of it.
Yep.
I certainly don't remember the ending.
I don't even remember the ending. I watched it during the week.
Yeah. They have
just-
sex and they walk down the street.
Oh, yeah. He says, let's live here.
Yeah, fuck off.
He's going to be mayor next year.
He's going to be the Groundhog next year.
Ooh.
So nostalgia, like,
Got issues with the Groundhog.
I knew
but
the
anyway.
movie and I knew what it was about.
That's it.
But I have no nostalgia for watching
I
it.
don't remember
or
stealing
quoting it.
I don't remember stealing the car. I
Or
don't
my
remember
friends watching it.
stealing the money.
I'm going to give it a 0.5
Yeah, same.
because I knew about it. That's it.
It's in the cultural
Yeah, it's a
cachet.
cultural it's a revelation
point.
Reference point.
It'll be in the bloody Library of Congress for
It is.
cultural significance.
It is.
Yeah, but everything's in there.
Yeah.
It's like Disney Plus. Every movie's on there. Groundhog Day is a saying. That's impact, which is
It does
the
have
eye of De Niro.
Yeah, it does have impact in that.
Ground-
It's now a thing of deja vu is Groundhog
Is
Day.
Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day was already a thing in America, but now
Yeah.
the rest of the world knows about it, and the rest of the world uses this movie to reference something repetitive
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day again. And it's not like it made Bill Murray's career or Andy McDowell's career or Chris Elliott's career.
Well, what's she
or-
done since?
She peaked in the
Yeah.
90s.
And the guy that plays the mayor, or not the mayor,
The Groundhog Man.
the groundhog announcer, didn't elevate him because he plays the same thing forever.
Yep.
Um,
Impact, I'm going to give it a 2.5 though. because of the reference of it
Nah,
becoming a thing.
175 for me.
Okay.
Because it's not that... In the context of a 90-minute movie...
Well,
I
shit.
suppose, yeah.
Okay.
Rewatchability.
I wrote something for rewatchability.
Yeah.
I wrote, I hope I never have to watch it again. I won't, by choice, watch this movie. But if I was with someone and they were like, let's watch Groundhog Day, and for some reason I had to watch it, I hope that never happens to me. Because if that was, I don't know, that's...
Is
if it was not my friend who's suggesting that of me.
Have we talked about this on the podcast before, or did I hear about it in a TikTok? It was, someone said, if we went on a date and you said this was my favourite movie, that would be the end of the date.
I think I said that. No, it was, what was it?
So if this was one where it was like a Netflix and chill scenario, and they suggested
and they
Groundhog
said, we
Day,
should watch Groundhog Day. I'm like, well,
can we just...
flaccid. Let's end.
Oh, not even...
I'm out.
Not even can we skip to the chill? Just see you
No,
later.
I'm like, this isn't going to work. I'm sorry.
All right. Yep, that's fair.
That's how I'm ranking rewatchability of things, is it? How much at Netflix and chills?
That's a 0 for you then.
Rewatchability is a 0.
Okay. I think I might watch it again. It didn't offend me.
I won't watch it again either. I would watch other movies again. Not this. That's a dumb sentence. You know what I mean? Like, I would purposely avoid watching this movie again.
Yeah, I think
it could have been a lot better.
I'm going to give it a 0.25 then.
Okay.
Because I might watch it again if someone suggests it.
Yeah.
But there's actually so much content. And this is why when people say to me...
I would rather watch 2 episodes of season 1 of Survivor than this. Well, that's not a smart thing. I would watch that anyway.
Yeah, but that's the point. Like,
have I made the point that I really didn't like this movie clear yet?
There's so much content, so many movies, so much TV to watch that there's no point watching something you don't like.
No.
And that's why when people say, oh, this series, I'll just give it a couple of episodes. No.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Yeah, we watched
tried
20
to
minutes.
watch Wednesday. Watch 20. Nah. Apparently it's a comedy.
I'm not going to watch season 2 of The White Lotus.
I did because I felt that I had to.
Well,
But I did really like the first season, and you have to stick it out because it always builds to something.
Yes, but you can tell from the start of that it's going to just kind of follow these people and shit happens.
Well, that's the whole idea of the show.
Yeah, but I didn't like the ending. And
Of the first season.
Of the first season. So I'm like, I don't need to watch season 2 because I've got so many other things to watch.
Yeah.
I'm like 4 years behind. Oh, no, I'm watching Total Control, the Australian show that was released 4 years ago. That's how far behind I am in shit.
Right.
Rewatchability, I'm giving a 0.25. You're giving a 0.
0.
Overall is the O of De Niro.
Yep.
Take it away.
The ending is stupid.
Yep.
You need to explain what is happening. I get that sometimes we say clunky exposition and you
Yep.
don't have to point it out
Yeah.
blatantly. For a movie that is this fantasy setup of he's stuck in the same
Yep.
day, you need to, one, explain to me in some way, you don't have to have like God come down and say it, why he's stuck in it. And
Yep.
then when he gets out of it, you have to be like, oh, that's how he got out of it. Not... my assumption when he woke up on the next day in bed with Andy McDowell was that, he finally slept with her, so now he's free. But I don't think they actually slept together.
I don't think you need to... I didn't think I needed that explanation of how he got stuck in the loop.
So what's the point of the movie?
Just to be a bit funny, but
Well,
it
it
wasn't
wasn't.
funny.
So is it trying to make a point of something? Did he go through these 5 stages of grief on this day? Denial, acceptance,
Yeah,
depression, anger, freedom. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I
Was there some point of it? Was it what you said before about that now he's a nice guy, he's free, and that was the point of teaching him a lesson?
Well, I always thought so.
But Is that what we just assume?
Yeah, and
Because
I'm
the
okay
two
with a bit of
answers
assuming.
That, well, I either assume what we just said, or that I assume that because he fucked Andy McDowell, he got out of the day.
That was his whole goal in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand why you think that.
The tricking into sleeping with people, it made me very uncomfortable.
It's not good. One thing, and you've written this in your notes too, for Bill Murray, I was going to say Andy Murray because it's tennis season.
Andy McDowell.
For Bill Murray,
Yeah.
it is 1,000 dates with Andy McDowell, right?
Yes.
For Andy McDowell, it's one.
It's the same day. It's one
It's
day
one
for her.
date.
And it's not the whole day.
Yeah.
Because he has to do his piano lesson, do his ice sculpting lesson, save the kid, save that guy, learn how to play jazz piano with that band.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. That's one
she
thing
changes her opinion about him very quickly from I want nothing to do with you to okay, let's sleep together.
Yeah, at 8 a.m. you're a jerk. By midnight, it's I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And okay, this is one issue I had with the auction scene, right?
Auction. Yes.
There's the bachelor auction, right?
Yeah.
If you are suddenly in love with Bill Murray, you're going back to the big city together.
Yeah, you don't need to
You
spend money
don't
on it.
need to bid on him.
Yeah.
It's also a charity. Let someone else bid. Let one of those old motor club lesbians feel happy about buying Bill Murray.
At least she got Chris Elliott.
Yeah, for what? 2 bits? 25 cents?
2 bits.
And he's so depressed, but he doesn't present himself well.
Yeah.
Chris Elliott. Anyway, that was one problem I had with the auction of Andy McDowell. Don't spend all your money.
No.
You also know from how the bids were going that $300 would have outbid. You didn't need $300, $315.88.
You also would have known that $20 would have, or whatever it was, like you didn't
It was up
need...
to like $80, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$100.
Should have gone $100, 120, and
Yeah.
then Nancy and the piano teacher, awkward, would have dropped out.
But that's my student that he met today.
Today.
And already knew how to do that.
Yeah. Nancy met him today. These women fall madly in love with him in one day.
Because he apparently went to school with you.
And he's a superhero.
If somebody came up to me was like, we went to English, depending on the person, I would not sleep with you straight away.
No.
Especially if I
Particularly
didn't remember you.
If I needed my memory seriously jogged.
Yeah.
Unless it was a person that I probably would sleep with anyway.
But then does he not... The thing as well, he didn't really freak out at the end when that last day...
Yeah.
He's like, he bought this money. He signed this insurance stuff with this person.
Yeah.
He doesn't go, oh, fuck, now I have to go through with this all. They just walk off into
They
the
just
sunset.
walk off. But also, they've got to go back to the big city because he's not getting a job that earns enough money in Punxsutawney to pay for all of those insurance policies.
Yep.
Sorry, Ned the Needle.
Yep.
Whatever his bloody nickname is.
Yep.
He's signed up for everything.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be able to afford it unless he goes back and gets a big job.
Yeah. The other thing, the entirety of the overall of the movie,
Yep.
I just don't think Andy McDowell's a very good actor.
I'm not convinced she is either.
It's like
She's lovely.
seen her in 3 or 4 things. No.
She's lovely.
She ruins 4 weddings and a funeral.
She is an odd thing in 4 weddings.
It's raining. I hadn't noticed. Well, that's the writing. You know what I mean, though.
I think we should do a series on the worst line in a really good film. So I was thinking about today because Bohemian Rhapsody came on the radio and it always makes me think of Mike Myers.
Yeah.
In Bohemian Rhapsody, not in Wayne's World, even though his line in Bohemian Rhapsody is referencing Wayne's World, which is what makes it
Bismillah.
shits. Shane watched X-Men the other day.
Oh, frog.
What happens to frogs when they get struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else. And raining, I hadn't noticed.
Terrible.
Shit line. My overall thing is it's just Bill Murray being Bill Murray,
Yeah.
but in asshole form.
But then it's weird. But then the problem with him was that because he basically changed his personality to get Andy McDowell to sleep with
Yes.
him. When he is nice, I don't believe you or that he's genuine about it at all.
That's what I mean. I think
He's
this
just
whole
putting on a show.
relationship's going to fall apart
Yeah.
because he either has to maintain that
Yep.
or he's actually changed, which I don't believe he has.
Nope.
What happens at 6 a.m.? Why didn't we see him stay up till 6 a.m.?
That was another thing.
He didn't try that.
If I was exactly, or did he and couldn't?
I think Harold Ramis and the other writer
Yep.
brought that up in the writer's room, couldn't work it out, so didn't put it in.
And couldn't work out a way to end it.
Yeah. Well,
It wasn't great.
they just go back from Punxsutawney.
Yeah, I don't get it. I will say overall out of 5, I will give it a 1.5.
One good thing,
Actually, a 1.
one good thing writing that they did was when he was those early days of repetition,
Yeah.
people said the same lines in response to him doing different things. So the woman
Oh, yeah.
running the B&B is like breakfast, sleep well, coffee. And then he says different things, but she still says the same thing.
Yeah.
And then when he sees Ned on like day 2 or 3, he doesn't get the chance to say, am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Right.
Yeah.
First, but then still says it a few further steps down the footpath.
Yeah.
And Andy McDowell and Chris Elliott have a couple of similar things like that. They did that well
Yeah.
in terms of making these characters. These characters are so set in their characterness that they're going to say these things no matter what Bill Murray does.
Yeah.
I thought that was clever. And I get the concept is clever, but I think it's rose-colored glasses that makes it people think it's well executed.
Yes.
1.75 overall.
7.5.
Yeah.
All right. I will say as well that Harold Ramis originally wanted Tom Hanks to do this, and I'm glad that he didn't. Whether he turned it down or he couldn't do it, I'm just glad that Tom Hanks didn't make this movie. Maybe he
Yeah.
would have made it a bit better.
I think Tom Hanks would have brought more breadth to the character
Yeah.
and depth
Yeah.
to the character, but I don't think Andy McDowell would have kept up with Tom Hanks.
No.
It would have made her seem even worse as an actor.
Yeah.
But Tom Hanks might have had a bit more clout to say to Harold Ramis, we should say this instead. Although
Yeah.
Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, they would have a good
Yeah.
rapport.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. That's
All
our
right,
thoughts.
that is Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
For the 30th anniversary. We are going to have a break. We're going to total up the scores. We are going to get our second drink, and we are going to give some reviews from the GOOGLE,
Yes.
which I can't say out loud because she'll pipe up in the corner, and then we'll talk about what comes next.
Yeah.
Break time.
Woo.
Two Drink Cinema! All right, we are looking at reviews from Google because often there are quality lols.
Yes, and I have the unfortunate task of looking at the 5-star reviews to
Oh.
look at people that don't agree with me at
You
all.
know what we have to do first?
Oh, what was the score?
The total score
The total score was 32.75
out of 100.
out of 100. So it's not the worst movie we've done, but by far not the best.
By far, not the best. It's very much near the bottom of the list.
Bottom 10 for sure.
But on Google, it has a 4.5
Yeah.
overall.
So I'm going to read some 5-star reviews of people that have bad taste in movies.
These do not reflect the views of the Two Brothers Entertainment Corporation.
I'll try to say them correctly. Adrian. I love this film. Simply brilliant. What a great plot and cast. The concept is strange, though, that Phil is caught in the same day over and over. However, it works. Bill Murray was great as Phil, and his comic presence, timing, and characteristics were on show for us to enjoy. A wonderfully funny yet poignant film. In 2020, with COVID, it seems we are all living the same day over and over, but unlike this film, it isn't fun. Jesus.
Hang on, it isn't fun. Bill Murray killed himself like 8 times in this film.
No, it's fun watching the movie, but he didn't
Yeah.
have fun. I was confused. Anyway, I've watched this film in lockdown, and it was the very best tonic to ease anxiety. A wonderfully presented film and a homage in one way to one similar made decades earlier called It's a Wonderful Life with the great Jimmy Stewart. Bill Murray at the very best in his career here. Please watch and enjoy. Nope.
I've got 2 1-stars back to back.
If that's Bill Murray's best, then that's quite sad.
Ghostbusters is Bill Murray's best.
A Caddyshack, maybe.
I've got 2 1-stars back to back. I
Yep.
didn't copy and paste the names. Apologies to whoever
That's
I'm
all right.
credited. This movie is good, but does hang on. This movie is good, but does not deserve anything above 3 stars. It is a simple idea and it is not that deep. But they've given it 1
They've
star.
given it 1 star.
So
why don't
they've
you give it
given
3?
No, they're giving it 1, but nobody else should give it higher than a 3.
Not even Adrian.
No. And then 1 star, this person doesn't understand star ratings. I thought it was good, and maybe I will walk it again tomorrow.
Okay.
WOCH.
Oh, walk this way. Somebody else did a 5-star.
Akshay.
If you are going through the reviews to check if the movie is worth spending the precious 2 hours of yours, then stop scrolling. It's totally, absolutely worth it. And I promise you that. Watching this on a bad day would be the greatest medicine ever. Don't think a second more on it. Just start the movie already. Absolutely makes your day a million times more beautiful. Lots of hope at a time when things look so grim you want to cry every second of the day. Jesus
Oh, how
Christ.
sad.
This movie works like a charm and will leave you smiling, crying, happy for the rest of the day for sure. Trust me and have an amazing movie watching experience.
Wow. Akshay loves it.
Akshay, when did you, if you're listening, Akshay, when did you cry? Can you please tell me?
I've got one here. It's a 1 star, but it's very cleverly written. You know, sometimes when you go through the Google reviews, we see people trying to be funny.
Yeah.
I think this one is good.
Okay.
Started off okay, but then suddenly got a bit repetitive starting from the second
for
day.
fuck's sake.
Not much else changed from that point on, and the plot was so repetitive at some points that it was
Okay.
like I was watching the same thing over and over again. Clearly, the writers ran out of ideas. The film also depicts gross violence, with the main characters being killed in several gruesome ways. Normally, I'm alright with a bit of death, but unfortunately, this particular film has major continuity errors, with characters dying then seeming to suddenly reappear again in the following scene. Not to mention the child cruelty depicted when a girl gets thrown out of a piano lesson.
Aww.
There is also some recurring sound mixing errors. For example, the same morning radio sound is heard again and again throughout the film. Either the editors selected the wrong sound file or the scriptwriters just ran out of things to say each morning.
Oh my God.
The Groundhog itself is repulsive, and I had to shield my eyes from the screen every time it was within frame. Fortunately, the female is very pretty. However, this could be too arousing for young viewers.
Jesus. Oh, the sarcasm. I love it.
1
That's
star.
great. That's
1
great.
star.
That's a great
I
review. I found that helpful.
I'll give it a thumbs up. I did think, I wonder how long they spent choosing the song. I Got You, Babe.
Yeah.
Because it has to be annoying, but a song that's good. Like, they couldn't pick a comedy song
Yeah.
that's meant to be annoying. But the like, they probably went, that is repetitive and that's going to be annoying every morning.
I was wondering how many shots they reused. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Phil,
Ned Ryerson walking
Phil,
up.
you're late.
Yeah.
She did that once.
Phil? That was only one. Ned across the
Yeah.
street. They reused that. Maybe the stepping in. Oh, no, the stepping into the puddle because he reacts differently each
Yeah.
time.
And then he doesn't, and then some other guy does. And then he
Uh,
didn't warn him, though, because he's an asshole.
Yeah, well, did he warn him later
Oh,
in the week?
done.
The year, the 1,000 days, whatever we decided it was.
Yes. Listeners, I would like to sincerely apologising for starting our year this way.
But also, if you liked it, just kick the light. If you liked the movie,
Yeah,
like
please tell us
Adrian
why.
and Akshay, please tell us why on the socials at 2 Drink Cinema. Also on the socials at 2 Drink Cinema on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We don't have a Pinterest board.
No, sorry.
And
we
not-
don't have a LinkedIn.
We're certainly not professional enough to have a LinkedIn.
And sorry, we're not on Be Real, kids.
Oh. Is that a good one?
Shout out to cousin if you're listening. She's the only one I know that has it.
Yeah, and she told us to add us. She told us all to add her, and we were like,
Nope.
no,
I'm 35.
yeah, no thanks. What you can do on the
God, I'm
socials
35.
at Two Drink Cinema is answer our trivia.
Yeah.
So rather than doing trivia where we quiz each other, we're going to quiz the audience.
Ooh.
And this is just a tagline.
Yeah.
So this is an alternate tagline
Yeah.
for this movie.
Yeah. And it is famous singer. Wait, she was gay?
Thanks for listening to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. Make sure you hit subscribe on the YouTube channel or on the podcast. Follow us on the socials. If you've just joined us from the Rainbow Popcorn feed for the new year, then welcome. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/2drinkcinema if you would like to support us and get the bonus content that I've referenced during the episode. We'll be back next week with another film. Thank you, Brett.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Drink Cinema. Make sure you've subscribed so you don't miss any future episodes.
Please share this episode with a friend and leave a rating and review. It goes a long way to help us reach a bigger audience.
This show is produced by Two Brothers Entertainment on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and we pay our respects and acknowledge their elders past, present and emerging.
Follow us on all your social platforms and join our Facebook group to connect with us. Thanks for listening, happy watching, and please drink responsibly.